Ronda Rousey, who put out this little tidbit about Bruce Prichard. And essentially, she tweeted after Vince was fired, let go, that Vince basically controlled the show through Bruce Prichard. And as long as Bruce Prichard is in the company, Vince will always have a hold on the WWE product. Now, you don't need me to tell you how much of a kiss ass Bruce Prichard is. I love you. We all know it. He admits it. He is the biggest corporate figure. He is the biggest Vince McMahon kiss ass. If there was a Kiss My Ass club, he would be number one. Probably is, and he probably is number one in that Kiss My Ass club. And I say that because Vince is a pervert. It probably does exist. We're not going to get into it. But regardless, yeah, I do think... Here it is. I just found it, by the way. I do think, in terms of Vince's influence on the product, there were a couple of names that come to mind where he did have a stranglehold on things. Here we go right here. That's her tweet. She says, Bruce Prichard is basically Vince's avatar. If he's still around, Vince still has a hand in the business. Vince was still running things through through himself, who in this case is Bruce, through Bruce when he was gone before. Yeah, we're still kind of waiting for that to be permanent. Hopefully it is this time. But yeah, like, you would think, who? Bruce Prichard, John Laurinaitis, definitely Kevin Dunn. Those people who Vince has made millionaires, they would be more loyal to him than anyone else. So I can 1000% see Bruce Prichard trying to keep the Vince-isms, the Vince McMahon-isms, if you will, the McMahon-isms, that's better, still within the company. And as long as he's there, yeah, we're going to have some issues. But here's the good news, because the WWE is sold, has been sold to TKO, and Ari Emanuel is now in charge. I have a feeling that won't be a problem. Matter of fact, I give it maybe a month or so, all of Vince's buddies, closest comrades, the people that basically mirror and echo his thoughts and will, if you will, I'm pretty sure they'll be gone sooner than later. They want to be done with Vince for good. They'll be gone. Including Bruce. He's too old anyways. All of these people can still have their opinions. They can always contribute from afar. They don't have to run day-to-day operations. There are people who are better and more suited to do it. Like a Nick Khan. In this case, maybe a Cody Rhodes. Cody was such a good representative in this press conference. I was blown away. I shouldn't have been, because he was the executive vice president of AEW, and he literally was Tony Khan's right hand. And when he was Tony Khan's right hand, it was almost like the show was, if not on the level of WWE, better than it. So yeah, I can 1000% see a Cody Rhodes taking that position, that vice president position, when he's ready to retire, and alongside Triple H and The Rock running the show. Ain't that something? The fact that we now live in a time where no McMahon is running the show. That won't last for long. I can see Stephanie coming back. When? I don't know. But right now, in this very moment, January 2024, and I can say that because it's about to be the end of January. Okay, I'll say January 28th, 2024. No McMahon, no Shane McMahon, no Vince McMahon, no Linda McMahon, no Stephanie McMahon. No McMahon is running or in charge in any position, executive power in WWE. That is incredible. That is insane. History making. Won't last for long though. One McMahon will come back, if not two. Technically, Triple H is a McMahon, but he's a son-in-law. Anyways, yeah, Miss Ronda Rousey won't be coming back anytime soon. And this came out before the Rumble, so that pretty much spoiled anything about her coming back to enter the Royal Rumble. How about that? The other piece of news that I saw is related to Brock Lesnar. So as you know, Brock was mentioned. Okay, he wasn't mentioned by name in the lawsuit, but when you say former UFC champion who they were trying to get to re-sign, Okay, like, who, Cain Velasquez? No. It was Brock Lesnar. We all knew it had to be Brock Lesnar. And in the lawsuit, it said that Vince used Janelle Grant to entice Brock to stay by sending him sexual photos, and Brock made her send things that I didn't talk about in the video on purpose because it was disgusting. But anyways, the whole idea was Brock was involved. And so to protect the company's image and also not to make the situation worse for WWE during this very hot week of theirs, they just brought in The Rock. You know, he's now the board member, a board member. They're doing a deal with Netflix for $5 billion over 10 years. The hottest period they've had since the Attitude Era. They don't want to deal with any negativity. I get having Brock not show up at the Royal Rumble. Matter of fact, I think that's a smart move. We don't know how serious this is. Maybe it was just this one incident. And who knows how Brock felt about it. Maybe Brock was like, why are you doing this? But we'll definitely get more details. For me, if things blow over for Brock, they can just bring him back in around WrestleMania and still do Brock versus Gunther. At the same time, in the same breath, the more I think about it, if Brock was involved with all of this crazy trafficking with women and was a part of Vince's scandals, no matter how small or big it is, if he was involved in some way, shape, or form, he should be gone too. He should be gone too. I like Brock. I think Brock's a great athlete, but no, unacceptable. Completely unacceptable, and it should not be endorsed. So, yeah, it was the smart move to do, temporarily or permanently, to keep Brock off of WWE TV until this whole thing blows over. Then when we get closer to WrestleMania and things have calmed down, we'll see what the investigation holds, and maybe Brock can be brought back then, and we'll do Gunther versus Brock at WrestleMania, probably. Because that is a match that I think fans want to see. And having Braun Breaker, the story is, and this is from what, Dave Meltzer? Okay. Well, we'll see. Personally, I thought the Pat McAfee spot was supposed to be Brock, but alright, maybe it was Braun Breaker. Anyways, Braun Breaker was the guy who took over for Brock, and he looked good. But yeah, I can imagine that being Brock Lesnar's spot. Maybe it was supposed to be Brock Lesnar. No confirmation from anyone else, though, but yeah. He was supposed to be in the Rumble, and that's why he was cut. It was the right move to make. I don't want to hear it. It was the right move to make. If he's innocent, they can always bring him back later, and they can always do Gunther and Brock Lesnar later. Because they have the money and the time. Finally, let's get to it. Let's talk about this press conference. Bayley, Cody Rhodes, and Triple H did a 1-hour press conference that is now live on the WWE YouTube channel. You can watch it for yourself. I watched the entire thing. Bayley had a great conference. I thought, first off, I'm so happy she won the Rumble. She deserves it. I am so happy for Bayley. That woman has been a company gal since day one. Whatever they wanted her to do, she did it with no complaints. Very supportive, a great leader. She has earned this WrestleMania moment. Whether it's against Rhea Ripley, it won't be. But against Rhea Ripley or Io Sky. I'm ready for it. I am so happy for Bayley. For real. But the real meat and potatoes came during the Cody Rhodes and Triple H press screenings. And the main questions that were asked all related to Vince McMahon and the allegations. Look, this is a no-win situation. It doesn't matter how you answer this question. There is no right answer to it other than Vince should have never been involved with the sale. He should have never come back, but he did, and we did our best to handle him while he was here. You can't say that. Professionally, you can't say it because it's a bad look on not just WWE, but also TKO. But it also makes you look bad as businessmen and women. So if you knew he was bad, why did you let him stay? And there's a lot of complications that can go into that. It's not as easy as that, but when you're dealing with media, it's very black and white. If you try to go gray, okay, good luck. It never works. It never works out very well. In the media, they want a yes or a no. Always. They will never You can give them a very gray area answer all you want, but they will always press to get a yes or a no. You're either a villain or you're a good guy. Welcome to media. It is what it is. It's what draws. Hell, I do media for a living. Technically, no, I actually do media. They want black or white. They hate gray. And in terms of media, in terms of living in a world where people want the juiciness, they want the dirt and the dirt sheets. They ain't looking for a ho-hum, everybody's happy answer. That doesn't draw. And that's bad for me because I live in that world. I live in a world of gray. I like to give a little nuance to my answers because that's what the world is. The world isn't black or white, it's gray. But that doesn't draw. What draws is the headline, Vince McMahon, he's a scumbag. Or Vince is our hero, we support him. You're either the bad guy or the good guy. So there was no answer that was going to satisfy everybody. It is a no-win situation. However, the least you can do is give an answer that, in my opinion, paints a positive picture for the future of the WWE. You get me? What Cody Rhodes did, how he answered the question, because he was asked about Vince, I thought he delivered a much more diplomatic, understandable, and very fair response compared to Triple H's answer. Can't believe I'm saying that. So, essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, here's what Cody Rhodes said. He said they learned about all the allegations when we did. When it was hitting the internet, that's when they learned. TKO took it very seriously and acted immediately. He says the crew, the wrestlers, the people who set up the ring, production staff, creative team, he says the crew is very family oriented. Unlike most locker rooms he's been in the past, where they were dramatic, they were getting into fights, they were talking shit about each other, talking down to each other. It was a Shark Tank when he first came up, but it wasn't a very pleasant locker room. He says this locker room is very team-based, with everyone looking out for each other and holding themselves accountable. And then he said, during this time when the WWE is at its hottest, we just did 50,000 people, 48,000, 50,000 people in the Tropicana Field for Royal Rumble. He says, I want to offer them something better that isn't terrible. That was Cody's response. I heard that response and said, well, goddamn, Cody, maybe you should be the CEO. He's really good at this. He's really good at this media stuff. I can see why they want him to be the face of WWE. He's better at it than Roman Reigns is. He's better at it than a lot of people. Better at it than Triple H. Apparently, he's better at it than Triple H is. But I heard that answer and I went, that might have been the best way to answer that question. See, one thing you want to do with media, when they ask you these black and white questions, they're looking for a particular answer. If that answer you know is going to harm your image, or worse, harm the image of the company that you work for, what you want to do is answer the question, number one, but give them a different answer that's better than the one that they want. You want to go for that if you're able to. Paul Heyman was always great at that. Paul Heyman was asked about how does he feel about AEW. He goes, it's not how I feel. It's not about me. It's about pleasing the people that watch you and then expanding that audience. He's right. That was a much better question than, how do I feel about AEW? It stinks. It would have made him look bad. Or it's a great show. He would be fired. You know what I mean? Well, probably not fired, but they wouldn't go to him for anything. How about that? So you always want to give them an answer that's better than what they're looking for. And I thought Cody, believe it or not, I thought he did a great job. I thought he handled that very well. Again, someone that thought him winning the Rumble wasn't all that exciting, I'm going to give Cody his props. I think he is a great representative for WWE. And this is one of the reasons why. In contrast, Triple H was also asked about Vince McMahon. Paraphrasing what he said, here's what he said. I did not read the lawsuit. Pause. We're already off to a bad start. I did not read the lawsuit. we can interpret that two ways. One, you didn't actually read the lawsuit, which makes you bad at your job. Because it's your job. Remember, this happened 2022, right? When the first allegations hit, he was a part of the board. So you didn't get your details, you didn't do the research, you didn't do the investigation, you didn't read the lawsuit? You get me? I did not read the lawsuit. So you can interpret it that way. Or the other way, which is how I interpret it, you didn't need to read the lawsuit because you already knew what happened. Statements like this you want to avoid at all costs. I did not read the lawsuit. Jesus Christ. So you either aren't good at your job or you didn't need to read the lawsuit because you already knew what happened, which is not a good light to be put in. It's just not. And I like Triple H. Paul Levesque is an amazing mind for the business, one of the greatest of all time, top 10 for me. But we all know he's loyal to Vince. He is loyal to the man that made him a millionaire. So is Ric Flair, so is Hulk Hogan, so is The Rock, so is John Cena, Taker, Austin. Hell, Brett probably isn't. Macho Man probably wouldn't be. But Mick Foley, Chris Jericho, they're always going to be loyal to Vince because he helped make all of these people millionaires. Even Bryan Danielson is loyal to Vince McMahon. Right? You're never going to hear them say one bad thing about Vince. Which is a problem. You understand it, but it's a problem. But anyways, he goes on to say, we had an incredible week with the Netflix deal and The Rock joining the board membership of TKO. This is the worst part. He says, I don't want to dwell on the negatives. I choose to focus on the positives. If you can't get any more corporate than that, and look, again, it was a no-win situation. There was no answer he could possibly give them that was going to elicit the right response. Make people go, okay, you guys are in the right path. There's nothing you can say about this. Except paint a positive picture for the future, which he could have done. And they did ask him, so what are you guys doing to make sure this never happens again? And Triple H said, everything possible. Quite frankly, and this is how I honestly feel, because this is a question where you can't win one way or another, I would just open the conference by saying, listen, for the sake of the Rumble and for the sake of the image and for the sake of things right now and to protect this positive vibe that we have going on, no questions about Vince. If you ask him, we're going to kick you out. I would rather you do that than what you did. Because you came off dismissive. And again, maybe there's a lot more to this. Maybe Triple H can't say much. I would think he couldn't. He's in a very very important executive position in the company. So it's not like Cody Rhodes can say that because he's just an employee. Although he was an executive, he can talk about that, and he said it in a way that was very well done. Oh my God. I think Triple H's hands are a little bit more tied. Also, keep this in mind, I think there's a lot more he really wants to say that he's choosing not to say, that he probably can't say due to the lawsuit, the nature of just the nature of his position, period. There's not much he can say. That being said, I'm sorry. That was not a good response. And I say this as someone who's a huge Triple H fan. But that wasn't it. Because of how serious these allegations are, the poor woman, Janelle Grant, got defecated on. All kind of obscene things done to her. The abuse she went through, the text messages alone are damning. The one thing you don't want to say is, I don't want to dwell on the negatives. Or, I didn't read the lawsuit. Just not a good response at all. Just not good. Sometimes when you try to be too corporate and you try to hide too much, you come off looking even worse. Worse than you just coming out and saying, look, what happened with Vince McMahon was terrible. We acted swiftly. He got his just dues. We are moving on from it. We are better than that. We are aiming to do better in the future to make sure that doesn't happen again. That's it. That's all you. It's a boring answer. It doesn't answer the questions they asked. But again, paint a positive picture for the future. That's all you can do. That's it. Now it sucks. You can't fix what happened now or in the past. It's done. We're going to get better. I think Cody Rhodes did a better job than Triple H did. But again, I think Triple H's hands were tied. In that case, I wouldn't have answered the question. I wouldn't have even allowed them to ask the question. But that's just me. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Give me your thoughts. How are we feeling about the Rumble? How are we feeling about this corporate scrum and everything Triple H said and what Cody said? Hopefully things get better. How are we feeling about Brock Lesnar? And everything. One more thing before I go. And I mean this. And do all the YouTube things. Video likes, video subscriptions, stuff. YouTube memberships. Like the video, subscribe, click the bell, catch all my content when it comes out. You know my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's all down below. Description, Discord, whatever. All right? And let me just say this really, really, really quickly. And I want to be genuine when I say this too. Last night for the Royal Rumble. Actually, this morning. Literally this morning. Not that long ago. I think that might have been the moment where I realized this channel and the people that watch me, you guys aren't just fans. You guys aren't just people who watch wrestling. This is a legit community. This is separate from the IWC. The internet wrestling community. This is a community within a community. And you guys are the antithesis of an internet wrestling fan. You are a legit fan. And you showed that to me last night. Thank you all so much. The amount of donations I got, I'm still trying to comprehend. Over $3,000. Over $3,000 in donations. Do you understand? Understand what you just did for me. The kind of thing that you did for me, that we created last night, this morning. The kind of thing you did for me is the stuff that people dream of when they say, I want to be a YouTuber. You have no idea what all you have done. And you continue to watch me. The amount of views I've gotten through the Vince McMahon live streams and uploads and shorts. And then now I just saw that I hit 38,000 subscribers already. I was hoping to do that a little bit later, but we're already on the verge to 39 subscribers. No, 39 subscribers. Yeah, we're going backwards. 39,000 subscribers, right? At this rate, I'm going to hit 40 by WrestleMania. I'm going to hit 40,000 subscribers by WrestleMania. And then it's on to 50,000. And then on to 100,000. And then on to 1 million. But what's going to keep me going is this community that we're building. We're not people that just rant and lie and demean and abuse, verbally abuse, tell people how to feel, make people feel like shit. We're not that. That describes so many people here in the IWC. And it's crazy because all we do is just talk about wrestling. And there are people here who will go out of their way to make you feel like the lowest of dirt for how you speak on wrestling, for your opinions on wrestling. And I think it's disgusting. You guys are the antithesis of that. And I thank you so much for continuing to make Alyx's World a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Exactly that. So, thank you all for watching me. I hope you're having a great day. And always know you are welcomed right here in Alyx's World. The place it is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. There's a lot more to come. We have a lot more content coming for you. Some interviews as well. You might want to stay tuned to the channel for more and subscribe because you're not going to want to miss it. All right, let me get out of here. Just woke up, need to get something to eat. Catch you guys next time. Peace.